I have a really crass one.
Go on.
It's if you're gonna kiss it, fuck it.
Media. Today I'm joined by rock and roll frontman, the one and only Nathan James of Inglorious. Hi Nathan, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Tell me first of all, the most important thing, how are your alpacas doing? Because I have been following your Instagram pictures and they are so cute.
Thank you for asking, they're really good. Yeah, I've had them for like 2 years and it's a constant learning curve really, but I love them so much and yeah, they're so cute.
I know, alpaca is like my favourite animal ever. I would have one if I could, so yeah, just wanted to ask. So obviously we're still kind of half in and half out of lockdown at the moment. For an active musician like yourself, I can imagine it's been quite frustrating to not go out on the road and be able to play live music. What kind of things have you been up to try and get through that time and still be actively involved as a musician?
I'll be perfectly honest, for the first 10, probably, how many weeks are we in lockdown? 12?
Yeah, something like that.
For the first 8 weeks, I was entirely unmotivated to do anything musical. I literally didn't want to sing, I didn't want to listen to music, I didn't want to write music. I was just focusing on kind of staying alive and keeping everyone here in this house alive. We actually live with my grandma who's very old and very sick, and my dad is asthmatic, so as a household we were trying to all look after each other and just isolate. So yeah, I was focusing on that. And then a couple of weeks ago, when our album kept getting pushed back and the recording kept getting pushed back, I thought, okay, when we have a final date and I see the end, I'll probably feel a bit more encouraged to get on and write. And that happened a couple of weeks ago. The dates went in, we're going in at the end of this week. And it means that I've had something to work towards, which I need. It's just this open-endedness of this lockdown that's been horrific, and it's hard to motivate yourself for nothing. Like, you don't, when there's nothing coming, like what is there to, yeah. And I suppose I've been busy with my animals. I'm really, really lucky here that we have so much space and I have other things to occupy my mind. I've not gone entirely crazy yet.
Yeah, well,
there's still time.
Yeah, that's good to know. But yeah, we'll wait for that moment. Of course, you mentioned that you're in the midst of working on your 4th studio album. What can you tell everyone about that as it stands?
Well, for the first time in Inglorious history, we are working with a producer who's going to produce the whole record, which I've done separately on other projects, but I've never done it in my own band. So we've always produced the albums ourselves, mostly because, I don't know, I'm a control freak maybe, or because I don't know, we just weren't used to being told what to do. It was kind of like a bit punk, I suppose, that we just did what we wanted. But this album, I think, really needs to have someone else's ear on it and make sure that we make as big an impacts as we have done with our other records. Not that I feel that that's anything to do with this. I just feel like sonically maybe it could sound better, or yeah, having someone else's ears on it who's produced Grammy-nominated material is only going to benefit our band, I think.
Oh, I mean, because Ride to Nowhere, your 3rd studio album, has got quite a dark and reflective concept about it. How do you think this 4th album is going to differ from previous Inglorious records?
It's still dark. If anything, it's probably darker.
Yeah.
I have written the majority of the lyrics in lockdown. So, and at the beginning of this year, I wrote about all sorts of things. One thing that I've been really inspired about is, obviously, as a nation and as a world, we've become obsessed with Netflix. Like, just everyone's watched Netflix. Do you know what I mean? Like, Tiger King took over the world for like a month. Like, I've found some things on Netflix that actually inspired me enough to write about them. There was an incredible series on called Messiah. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't. I actually didn't see Tiger King.
Really good. Oh, you have to. I was so obsessed with this Messiah. I just thought it was a fantastic idea for a show. It was about someone who people thought was, he led them to believe that he was Christ, and he was making all these things happen when in fact it was all just trickery. And then there was a big twist at the end. So so we have a song called Messiah on the new album. I've also been like obsessed with like weird, creepy serial killers and stuff. So there's been a song, I wrote a song about a very famous serial killer.
Which one?
Yeah, just.
Can we know which one?
No, because I kind of want to keep that to myself. Because one thing I believe with serial killers is it's great for me to watch these documentaries and just to learn about these sick, weird people.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like some of them, that's what they want. They want that fame and notoriety of having a documentary made about them, or a movie, or a song. So I'm never actually going to tell anyone who it's about, because I don't want that person to have that, to know that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want them to understand that they've got an Inglorious song about them.
No, because as a person, they don't deserve that, you know?
No.
But there's still an interesting topic to write about, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just touched on the fact as well of like, whatever's going on in the world right now, it's quite crazy times. You as someone, I mean, I followed your social media for a while. You're someone who doesn't really shy away from giving your opinion on certain subjects, and you know, voicing what your thoughts and feelings are on your social media platforms. Do you think it's important as a musician to be able to have a voice, knowing that you have a platform of people that follow you or want to know what you're thinking? Do you think it's important that you get involved in stuff like the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that?
I used to be really against it, as in I used to shy away from talking about things like that, politics, etc. But with something such as the Black Lives Matter movement, we can't shy away from it. There's literally no choice. We can disagree on anything, you know. We could disagree on our favourite bands. We can disagree on our favourite foods. But if you're a racist, I can't. No, this will never be a friendship. A relationship will never be. And I think my platform, it's not a huge platform, but I've had people message me and question me about it, and I feel like I've actually got through to a couple of people. And not that I'm after like a round of applause. I'm just, if I changed one person's mind and told one person not to be a piece of for a day, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually irresponsible if you have that platform and you don't stick up for people. I think that's the worst thing, because it's not about, it's about sticking up for people in need, isn't it?
Yeah.
From bullies. And I haven't got time for that.
Yeah. Do you think that there's ever a time, if you are a musician, because I know some people will look at musicians and genuinely just think that they're there for entertainment purposes. Do you think there's ever a time to just remain completely neutral in a situation? Because people do always tend to disagree no matter what side you're on. Do you know what I mean?
For me, I will keep quiet about like all sorts of issues. But if something really, really upsets me and I see people, my friends, suffering, I think you're guilty if you remain impartial. I'm a Leo. I'm a really loyal person. I'm like loyal. Like if you're good to me, I'll be good to you forever and ever and ever. But it works the other way. If you're a piece of shit to me, also be a piece of shit to you for forever and ever and ever. Okay, so I just want people to be nice to each other. I've actually not written a song about it, but I touched on the topic of like protest on one of the songs on the album, because I think it's powerful. I think it's a pretty powerful thing what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a good time for musicians to use that platform and put all these thoughts and feelings and things into songs, because they are comforting for people, aren't they? And people rely on music to help them through it.
And people don't just rely on music from artists, you know. Like I'm not saying that I'm a huge rock star, but to someone, I am their someone, you know. I am the person that they look up to, and I'm the person that. And if I show that I have no integrity, what kind of example is that setting for people? Whether you like my opinion or not, at least I have my authenticity and my integrity intact, and that's more important than what you think of me.
Yeah, that's really, really good outlook to have, I think. On a separate note, just away from that slightly, you've actually been teaming up with Paul Rodgers, Danny Vaughan, Jess Got So on a John Lennon cover of Imagine, on a cover of Imagine by John Lennon, should I say. And what kind of got you into doing that with everybody, and what's been the outcome of the charity work that you've been doing so far?
What triggered it, I don't know if anyone saw the terrible version that the celebs in America did, the movie stars.
I have not seen it, no.
It had Gal Gadot put it together, the woman who played Wonder Woman, and it was all of her friends like Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell and all these amazing actors, and they all did this cover where they sung a line of Imagine, and it was so appalling. Like it was also really insincere, because they were singing about Imagine no possessions from their mansions in LA, and it was just like, it doesn't correlate, like it doesn't make sense. So I said that I would put something together with proper singers, because they couldn't sing, like it's not a secret, like the majority of them couldn't sing, and great musicians, because there's so many great musicians that right now are doing nothing. We're sat on our bums at home. In fact, I have alpacas to play with. Not everyone has alpacas, so they're bored, you know. We need to find things to do. And I rung up a couple of friends, and then it just started the ball rolling. And I actually asked Paul Rodgers' daughter, who I'm good friends with, Jasmine, if she'd do it. And while I was asking her, I was like, will you ask your dad if he'd be interested? And I had an email reply back saying that he would. And then the next thing, I was talking to Paul's wife about the video and stuff. So yeah, it was a really amazing thing to happen. And I picked 4 charities to highlight, because at the moment, I know musicians are struggling, because our earnings have gone away, our gigs have gone. So I thought I didn't want to ask people for money. I didn't want to say, buy this thing for £2 or whatever. I thought it was more important that people just enjoyed the video and just read through the thing and just saw 4 charities that we chose, because people are struggling right now. Not everyone's got money. People haven't got, like, what have we been dealing with the last few days? The kids' school meals thing.
Yeah.
It took a footballer to convince government to feed kids. It's insane. We have people don't have money at the moment, and I don't want to ask people for money.
Yeah, but it's something that everyone can enjoy. It's really, really good fun as well, and it seems to have done really well on Facebook, on all social media platforms. I know that you shared that you've reached thousands of people thus far and stuff. So well done, and I think it's brilliant.
Thank you.
I think on a separate note as well, obviously you have performed in a rock band, and you've also done performing arts, kind of theatre type work as well. What is the comparison between the two for you? And do you ever find that at a certain time you enjoy one more than the other for certain reasons? Where are you kind of sitting?
I always enjoy my band stuff more. I think, truthfully, the reason why I never fully pursued theatre, and I haven't ever pursued it, apart from on the TV show that I did.
Yeah.
I've never chased shows, you know. It's more that I don't like playing a character. Again, it's about integrity and it's about authenticity. When I sing in Inglorious, I am myself. I'm singing my own words. I'm singing melodies I wrote. I'm stood with people that I choose to stand with. Do you know what I mean? It's all on my terms.
Yeah.
And I think I enjoy that more than playing a character. I sometimes think I'm a character. So why would I play another one?
What kind of motto or saying might you want to live your life by? I know a lot of people have quotes that they like to say, this is me. Have you got any of those things?
I have a really crass one.
Go on.
It's if you're gonna kiss it, fuck it. Which is not a sexual term, is a term for in life, you know? If you're gonna do something, do it fucking properly. Commit fully to it, and yeah, I try and be really good at one thing. I think lots of people spread themselves too thin, trying to master loads of different things. I focus on one thing, and because I've done that since I was 14, whatever the kind of singing jobs I've had, I've constantly been in employment through singing, and yeah, I think that's rare. I'm really, really proud to say that I've never had to do anything else. You know, I committed. I worked my bum off. It's not like I was born like with a voice. Like it doesn't happen like that. Like it at all. So yeah, and also keep learning. I think I learn every day. I learn about singing every day. I still see my singing teacher now to this day. And I'm inspired by so many people. I love learning. I love learning, especially about singing.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, Nathan, for chatting to me. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you for taking the time to say hey.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.